Have you ever been cut so deeply by someone's words or actions that it felt like the very center of your soul had been pierced? Have you ever lain awake through the long silence of the night, replaying the betrayal, the rejection, the cruelty, the lies, wondering how those who hurt you could rest so peacefully while you wept into your pillow? My friend, listen closely to me today. God sees, God hears, God knows. And He will not let the pain you've carried remain unanswered. A day will come when those who mocked you, those who cast you aside, those who despised you, will look back and regret every word and every action they raised against you. For when a child of God is mistreated, heaven itself takes note. The world may believe it can trample over you, but the one who reigns from the throne never forgets. The same God who wrapped Joseph in a robe of favor, even after his brothers threw him into a pit, is the same God who watches over you now. Those who sold Joseph into slavery live to witness him rise above them, clothed in authority and forced to confront the weight of their own betrayal. That is the God you serve. He turns the evil intended against you into a stage for His glory. And those who thought they buried you will live to regret it when they see you standing in the light of God's deliverance. Never forget this truth. God is a defender of the weak, a shield for the broken, and a righteous judge over the affairs of men. When others humiliate you, when they laugh at your downfall, when they whisper behind your back, they are not mocking you. They are mocking the hand of God upon your life, and God will not remain silent forever. He will act, He will vindicate, He will cause their own deeds to rise up against them. What they sowed in cruelty, they will reap in regret. What they cast upon you in hatred, they will gather again in shame. So many people live under the shadow of wounds. They think the hurt done to them has gone unnoticed, as if heaven has closed its eyes. But I tell you today, God is not blind. He is not deaf. He is not weak. He is mighty in power, and His timing is perfect. He is storing up justice for you. And when His hand moves, every plot, every scheme, every weapon raised against you will crumble, and those who thought they triumphed will bow their heads in regret, because God Himself will turn the tables. You see, when people hurt you, they often underestimate who you belong to. They think they are dealing with you in your weakness, but they forget you are under the covering of the Almighty. When they curse you, they curse the one God has chosen. When they strike at you, they strike at the very apple of God's eye. And God will not allow His chosen ones to be trampled forever. The tears you have cried are not wasted. They are seeds. And those who made you weep will one day regret the day they planted cruelty in your life. For God will make them watch the harvest of blessing He brings to you. Think of Hannah, mocked by those who ridiculed her barrenness. They laughed, they sneered, they thought her prayers were in vain. But when God opened her womb, when the answer came, the ones who mocked could do nothing but look in regret. The laughter of your enemies is only temporary, my friend. The sneers of those who despise you are but for a moment. For God's answer, God's blessing, God's breakthrough, these will silence them and fill their hearts with regret, forever doubting the power of God upon your life. So do not waste your energy trying to defend yourself. Do not let bitterness poison your heart. You do not need to fight with the weapons of man. Your defender is greater. Your judge is higher. Your deliverer is stronger. Let God fight your battles. Let God write the story. For when God lifts you up, no one can deny it. And when he does, those who hurt you will see it and regret the cruelty they unleashed against you. Perhaps right now you feel forgotten, pushed aside, treated as though you are nothing. But the very people who thought they could dismiss you will live to regret it when they see how far God carries you. He does not leave his children in the dust. He raises the poor out of the ash heap and sets them among princes. He exalts the humble and brings low the proud. Those who rejected you today may one day need your hand tomorrow. And when they come, they will know regret, for they will see the hand of God that they once ignored. Let me tell you, my friend, life has a way of exposing hearts. People reveal their true character not in how they treat the powerful, but in how they treat the vulnerable. Those who think they can trample you because of your weakness forget that God delights in raising the weak. He delights in choosing the unlikely. He delights in lifting the rejected. So when they regret hurting you, it will not simply be because of your success. It will be because of God's undeniable hand upon you. And this is why you must keep your heart clean. Do not lower yourself to their level. Do not fight with bitterness. Do not let the venom of others become your own. Leave it in the hands of God. For if you try to repay evil with evil, you rob God of the chance to show himself as your defender. Let him act. Let him reveal. Let him vindicate. And when he does, your enemies will regret their actions in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. Nay, God knows how to prepare a table before you in the presence of those who despise you. He knows how to lift you so high that those who once looked down on you will have no choice but to look up. They may not admit it out loud, but deep within their hearts will burn with regret. They will remember the words they spoke, the deeds they did, the harm they inflicted, and they will wish they had never touched you. For God will show them that his hand is stronger than their hate. Never underestimate what God can do with your pain. Pain is not wasted in his hands. Betrayal is not ignored in his sight. Wounds are not forgotten in his presence. Every tear you have shed has been seen. Every injustice you have endured has been recorded. And every act of cruelty against you is a seed of regret waiting to sprout in the lives of those who hurt you. God's justice is not always immediate, but it is always certain. And when it comes, it will be undeniable. When people hurt you, they believe they have the final word over your destiny. They think their betrayal has sealed your fate. They believe their gossip, their rejection, their lies have written the last chapter of your story. But they do not hold the pen. God does. And when God writes, no man can erase. When God opens a door, no enemy can close it. When God chooses to raise you up, no betrayal, no jealousy, no conspiracy of hell can stop it. That is why those who wounded you will live to regret it, because God himself will show them that their cruelty was powerless against his purpose for your life. You must understand this, my friend. Every injustice against you is already accounted for by God. Nothing escapes his sight. Nothing slips past his judgment. Even when it feels like the wicked prosper, even when it appears that the liars and deceivers succeed, their triumph is only for a season. It is a mirage in the desert. God's justice may move slowly in the eyes of men, but it is swift in its certainty. And when it comes with a force so undeniable that those who once laughed at you are silenced by their own shame. Do not envy those who mistreat you. Do not wish for their life, no matter how glittering it may seem, for their joy is fleeting, their prosperity temporary, their comfort hollow. When God arises, when his justice rolls forth like thunder, those who mocked you will bow their heads, their laughter choked with regret. The same lips that cursed you will stammer in shame. The same hands that struck you will tremble in fear. The same hearts that despised you will be crushed under the weight of their own guilt, because God himself will confront them. Remember Pharaoh, who hardened his heart against the oppressed, thinking he could trample them without consequence. He had armies, he had wealth, he had power. But when God lifted his hand, all Pharaoh's strength collapsed into ruin. The oppressor always looks invincible until God decides otherwise. And when God moves, the mighty fall, and those who inflicted pain are drowned in the sea of their own. Those who rise against you will regret it, for they will face the living God, who defends the cause of the wounded and lifts the head of the brokenhearted. Do not let bitterness consume you, for bitterness chains you to the pain of yesterday. Release it to God. Place your wounds in his hands. Let him be your avenger, for his vengeance is not petty, it is perfect. He knows how to turn the very schemes of your enemies into their undoing. He knows how to expose the secret plots whispered in dark rooms. He knows how to bring hidden wickedness into the light, until those who schemed against you are forced to regret ever laying a hand upon your life. There will come a time when those who dismissed you, who said you would never succeed, will stand in awe as God lifts you higher than their words ever imagined. They will see that the very stones they threw became the foundation God used to elevate you. And in that moment, their hearts will burn with regret. For the one they thought was nothing will stand tall, not because of human power, but because of the hand of God. Do not think for a moment that your tears were unseen. Every tear shed in silence is stored in the heart of God. Every sigh of pain is heard in the courts of heaven, and God does not waste the cries of his children. The very tears they caused you to shed will become evidence against them when God moves to vindicate you. The same ones who thought your weeping was weakness will regret it, for God will show them that your tears watered the soil of your future blessing. Consider this. Many times the people who hurt you are blind to the treasure God placed within you. They thought they were wounding an ordinary person, not realizing they were striking someone chosen, someone set apart, someone protected by the Almighty. And when God reveals your true worth, when the hidden treasure of your life shines forth, those same people will regret their blindness. They will realize too late that in despising you, they despise what God had ordained. That is why you must walk with dignity. Do not lower yourself to revenge. Do not fight with the weapons of hate. Stand still and see the salvation of God. Stand firm and watch him unfold his justice. Because when he does, it will not only silence your enemies, it will make them regret the very moment they decided to harm you. God knows how to orchestrate regret so deep that it pierces the conscience of those who thought they were untouchable. When God elevates you, he does not do it in secret. He does it openly so that those who once belittled you are forced to watch. It is not to satisfy your pride, but to prove his power. It is to show the world that he alone lifts up and brings down. And those who hurt you will stand as unwilling witnesses of the greatness God places upon your life. Their regret will not simply be personal, it will be public. Everyone will see it. Everyone will know it. And the very ones who thought they were breaking you will regret they ever tried. My friend, let me speak with urgency to your heart. Never confuse silence with absence. Just because God has not acted yet does not mean he has overlooked the wrongs committed against you. Silence is often the stage upon which God builds the greatest revelations. He allows the proud to strut for a season. He allows the arrogant to parade for a time. But make no mistake, when the silence breaks, it will break with thunder. And those who once hurt you, those who thought there would be no consequences, will be overwhelmed with regret as the hand of God moves swiftly and decisively. When people rise against you, they rarely understand the depth of their actions. They may think they are only wounding your feelings, only damaging your reputation, only taking from you what they can. But in truth, they are sowing seeds before the throne of God. And the harvest of those seeds will not be joy, but bitter regret. The cruelty they sowed into your life will one day sprout in their own. And they will remember the moments they despised you and wish they had chosen differently. Understand this clearly. Your pain is not in vain. The very hurt you endure becomes the material God uses to elevate you. Every insult becomes a stepping stone. Every rejection a platform. Every betrayal a ladder to higher ground. This is why the regret of your enemies is inevitable. Because while they thought they were burying you, they were in truth planting you. And when the seed that is your life begins to grow, when the branches stretch out and bear fruit, those who cast you aside will regret they ever touched you. God has a way of flipping the script in ways the human mind cannot comprehend. Look at the stories written throughout time. How often the rejected one became the cornerstone. How often the despised one became the exalted. How often the wounded one became the healer. The fingerprints of God are always on the side of the broken. He delights in turning ashes into beauty, mourning into joy, sorrow into strength. And when he does, those who mock your ashes will regret their laughter when they behold the crown of beauty upon your head. Do not be deceived by appearances. Those who hurt you may look strong, but their strength is fragile. They may look successful, but their success is hollow. They may look untouchable, but without the covering of God, they are vulnerable. The moment God lifts his hand, their foundation crumbles. The same people who boasted against you will one day stumble under the weight of regret, not because of your power, but because they challenged the authority of God by touching one whom he loves. And here is a mystery. Sometimes God allows the wound so that his justice can be revealed more gloriously. If no one had hurt you, there would be no need for vindication. If no one had betrayed you, there would be no stage for God's reversal. It is often through the cruelty of others that God displays his greatest acts of justice. Those who pierce you become instruments in his hand, not for your destruction, but for your elevation. And when their purpose is fulfilled, they will look back and regret that they ever allowed themselves to be used in such a way. Let us not forget, God is the master of timing. He knows when to remain silent and when to act. He knows how to build pressure until the moment of release. He knows how to let the story unfold until the very last moment, when regret will strike the hearts of your enemies like lightning from heaven. They will not be able to undo what they did. They will not be able to take back their words. They will not be able to erase their actions. They will only be left with the bitter taste of regret, because the God who defends you will make sure they remember the harm they caused. That is why you must walk in confidence even in the midst of pain. Do not hang your head as if you have been defeated. Do not walk as though the cruelty of others has the final word. Lift your eyes to the heavens and know that God is your portion, your shield, your defender. Those who rise against you are not stronger than Him. And if God has allowed the hurt, it is only because He is preparing the stage for His justice. When that justice comes, your enemies will regret that they ever underestimated the one who walks with God. Consider this as well. Sometimes the regret will not come in a dramatic downfall. Sometimes it will come quietly in the stillness of their conscience. A word spoken against you may echo in their hearts for years. A deed done in cruelty may haunt them in the midnight hours. The very people who hurt you may smile in public, but behind closed doors they are tormented by regret. For God knows how to awaken the conscience, and He knows how to make the memory of their actions burn within them until they are forced to face what they have done. But as for you, remain steadfast. Do not let the poison of vengeance touch your spirit. Do not waste your energy plotting their downfall. Leave it all in the hands of God, for His justice is far more powerful than yours could ever be. If you fight for yourself, your victory will be small. But if God fights for you, the victory will be undeniable. And the regret in the hearts of your enemies will be deep and unshakable. Trust Him, wait on Him, stand in faith, and know that the one who promised justice will not fail you. And remember this truth above all. The same people who hurt you may one day need you. Life has a way of circling back. God has a way of positioning you so that those who despise you must reach out for your help. When that moment comes, their regret will be greater than their pride, for they will see with their own eyes that the one they rejected was the very one God chose to bless. My beloved friend, I must speak to you with fire and urgency. Do not measure your worth by the way others have treated you. Do not allow the wounds inflicted by their jealousy, their gossip, their betrayal to convince you that you are less than who God says you are. When people hurt you, they reveal more about the darkness of their own heart than they do about you. Their cruelty is a mirror of their emptiness. And while they may laugh in the moment, while they may celebrate your pain, a day will come when they will bow under the weight of regret, because God will lift you in ways they never imagined possible. Never think for a moment that the cruelty of others can erase the purpose God has written for your life. Your destiny is not in the hands of your enemies, nor in the whispers of those who despise you. Your destiny is sealed in the hand of the Almighty. He alone writes the story. He alone opens and closes the doors. He alone determines the heights to which you will rise. And when He raises you, He will raise you so high that those who once hurt you will tremble with regret, wondering why they ever opposed you in the first place. The truth is this: God allows certain people to wound you because their betrayal becomes the very soil where His justice takes root. If no one ever harmed you, there would be no stage for him to display his power. If no one ever rejected you, there would be no opportunity for him to reveal his vindication. The pain they inflicted upon you will become their testimony of regret when God turns it into your victory. Think of this carefully. Those who hurt you often believe they silenced you, that they buried you under shame. But they did not realize you are a seed in the hand of God. Seeds are buried, yes, but not to die, to grow. What they meant as burial was in truth a planting. And when God waters that seed, when he shines his light upon it, when he causes it to sprout forth in power, they will regret they ever placed you in the ground. For what they thought was your end will be the beginning of a harvest they cannot deny. Do not waste your time explaining yourself to those who mistreat you. You do not need their validation. You do not need their approval. You do not need their acceptance. What you need is the hand of God upon your life. And when God places his hand upon you, he himself will speak on your behalf. He will speak through your blessing, through your rise, through your survival. He will cause the very people who try to silence you to sit in silence, overwhelmed by regret at the power of God revealed in you. You see, the regret of your enemies is not something you must force. It is not something you must demand. It is something God himself orchestrates. He knows how to expose the hidden plans. He knows how to bring the whispers of the dark into the light. He knows how to reverse the trap and make those who built it fall into it themselves. And when it happens, their regret will be so heavy they will not be able to escape it. God himself will make them look back and realize that the one they despised was the one he had chosen. Do not envy their momentary triumph. Do not be discouraged by their temporary success, for everything built apart from God collapses in time. And when it collapses, those who laughed at you will regret their arrogance. They will regret the way they spoke about you, the way they treated you, the way they looked down on you, because God will show them that he alone is the author of honor and shame, of rise and fall. And hear me well, sometimes the regret will not come through outward downfall, but inward emptiness. Some of the very people who hurt you will appear successful to the world, but inside they will be tormented by guilt, by shame, by the haunting memory of their cruelty. They will carry regret like a shadow they cannot escape, because God knows how to awaken the conscience, to pierce the heart, to remind them of every wound they caused. Their regret will echo within them until they face the reality that they raised their hand against one whom God was protecting all along. But as for you, you must rise above the trap of bitterness. Do not let hatred poison your soul. The moment you allow revenge to control you, you rob God of his chance to vindicate you. Your task is to trust, to endure, to remain faithful. God will handle the rest. His vengeance is not small. It is perfect. And when his hand moves, your enemies will regret, with a regret so deep that no words can comfort them. Know this as well. Regret is not merely about punishment. It is about realization. Those who wounded you will one day come to see that God was with you from the very beginning. They will witness the unmistakable evidence of his blessing over your life. They will behold the fruit of his hand guiding your steps. And in that moment of recognition, their pride will shatter, their arrogance will collapse, and they will regret ever imagining they could touch what God himself has set apart to protect. My friend, let me share a truth with you. The very hands that tried to push you down will one day wish they had lifted you higher. The very lips that mocked and slandered you will one day wish they had spoken words of blessing instead. The very eyes that once looked upon you with scorn will one day wish they had gazed upon you with honor. For God has a way of rewriting the story so that those who sought to shame you will end up shamed themselves. This is the justice of the Lord. It is not partial. It is not delayed forever. It is not uncertain. It is sure. It is strong. It is final. The hurt that others inflicted upon you is not the end of your story. It is only a chapter and not the final one. God always reserves the last word, and when he speaks, his word silences every critic, every accuser, every liar, every betrayer. When he declares you blessed, no curse can stand. When he declares you lifted, no hand can pull you down. When he declares you chosen, no rejection can cancel it. And those who hurt you will regret it, not because of what you did to them, but because of what God has done for you. There is a deep truth I want you to hold in your spirit. God never wastes pain. Every drop of sorrow you have endured, every sting of betrayal you have felt, every humiliation you have suffered has been collected by God and stored for a purpose. The very things that were meant to destroy you are the things God uses to build you. And when he displays the beauty that comes from your ashes, when he unveils the strength that rose from your suffering, those who caused your pain will be forced to watch. And in their watching they will regret their cruelty. Because God will make your life a testimony they cannot ignore. Do not underestimate the power of divine reversal. The story of your life is not written in straight lines. It is filled with turns, with valleys, with storms. But each valley, each storm, each wound becomes an avenue for God's glory to shine brighter. And the brighter it shines, the deeper the regret for those who mocked you in the darkness. They will look back and remember the moments they laughed at you, the times they dismissed you, the words they hurled against you, and they will wish they had done differently. For God will show them that they were not mocking you, but the plan he had for you. Hear me well. There is nothing hidden from God. Every insult, every act of betrayal, every secret plot against you is fully exposed before him. People may think their words vanished into the air, their deeds buried in silence, but before God nothing is forgotten, and in his perfect time he will bring it all back before them, not through your revenge, but through his justice. And when it is brought back, they will regret deeply that they ever allowed pride and cruelty to guide their actions. Sometimes God will allow you to rise in front of those who despised you, not because he needs to prove anything to them, but because he delights in proving his faithfulness to you. When you stand in places they said you would never reach, when you achieve victories they swore you would never have, when you walk in peace they thought they had stolen from you, their regret will be undeniable. They will realize they were not fighting you. They were fighting God. And no one who fights against God ever wins. Do not miss this. Your role is not to chase after their regret. Your role is to trust God, to keep your heart pure, to keep walking forward. If you keep looking back, demanding revenge, you will lose sight of the path God is calling you to. Let God handle them. He is more than capable. He knows how to bring them face to face with their actions in a way that penetrates deeper than anything you could ever say. He knows how to let life unfold in such a way that regret finds them at every turn. Leave it to him and you will see that his justice is far greater than anything your hands could build. Sometimes the greatest regret God places upon those who hurt you is not through their downfall, but through your rise. Nothing pierces the heart of your enemies like watching you thrive after they tried to destroy you. Nothing stings like seeing you walk in peace after they tried to disturb you. Nothing cuts deeper than seeing you shine with the blessing of God after they tried to bury you in darkness. This is why you must not shrink back. You must not give up. You must not surrender. Your very survival, your very progress, your very faithfulness will become a testimony that fills their hearts with regret. And let us not forget, God works in generations. Sometimes the regret will not only fall upon those who hurt you, but upon their children, upon their descendants, upon their legacy. Because when people touch the chosen of God, they are not only harming an individual, they are setting themselves against the plan of heaven. And the ripple effects of that choice can echo for years. Your enemies may smile today, but the future is in God's hands. And He knows how to write regret into the legacy of those who thought they could stand against you. But as for you, take comfort in this. Your story is safe in God's hand. He is not done with you yet. The pain of today will become the platform of tomorrow. The tears of this season will water the joy of the next. The rejection you feel now will become the testimony of acceptance. You walk in later, and when it happens, those who hurt you will regret every word, every action, every deed, because they will see that nothing they did could stop the hand of God on your life. My beloved, let me remind you today that when God places His hand upon your life, no force on earth can stop what He has ordained. The winds may blow, the waves may rise, and enemies may conspire. But the command of God is greater than every storm, every voice, and every obstacle in your path. What He decrees will come to pass, and what He blesses, no one can curse. Many times you feel like life is against you, but remember, life does not control you. God does. He holds the keys to every door, the solution to every burden, and the answer to every cry of your heart. When you begin to trust that God's plan is far wiser than your own, peace will flood your soul. The disappointments you face will no longer break you, because you will see them as divine redirection. The delays you encounter will no longer discourage you, because you will know they are preparation. And the trials that once made you question your worth will now make you stronger, because you will understand that God never allows pain without purpose. Every struggle, every sleepless night, every tear is shaping you into a vessel that can hold the greatness He is preparing to pour into your life. Do not measure your future by what you see today. Do not let the opinions of others define your destiny. People may doubt you. People may abandon you. People may even try to destroy you. But their power is nothing compared to the will of God. The one who raised you up is the same one who will protect you, guide you, and promote you at the appointed time. What is written for you will reach you. What God has set aside for you will not be taken by another. No matter how hard the enemy tries, he cannot steal what belongs to you when you remain steadfast under God's covering. Lift your eyes beyond the immediate. Look higher than your circumstance. For God has promised that those who place their trust in Him will never be left in shame. Even when you walk through the fire, His presence is your shield. Even when you pass through the waters, His hand is your anchor. Even when the darkness seems to cover you, His light will break through and lead you into dawn. This is not the end for you. It is the beginning of a greater story written by the hand of God Himself. When God is preparing to elevate you, He often first teaches you how to endure storms without breaking. A tree that grows tall and unshaken must first drive its roots deep into the soil. Likewise, God allows certain winds to blow against you, not to destroy you, but to make you unmovable. The trials you face are not punishments, but preparation. The moments when you feel pressed on every side are the very moments when God is forming within you the strength to carry the blessing He has ordained. If your struggle seems heavy, it is only because the weight of your future blessing is greater than you imagine. Do not mistake delay for denial. What looks like silence from God is often His greatest work in the unseen. A seed buried beneath the soil does not appear to be growing, but under the darkness its roots are spreading. Its foundation is forming. Soon it will break forth into the light. So it is with your life. God is working beneath the surface. You may not see it now, but in the appointed time you will see that His delay was your protection. His silence was your preparation, and His timing was your perfection. When people rise against you, when friends betray you, when enemies mock you, remember this. No one can cancel what God has written. His decree is final, and His plan cannot be overturned. If God has chosen to bless you, no opposition can stop it. Their words may sting, but God's word will stand. Their schemes may rise, but God's hand will scatter them. Do not waste your energy fighting battles that belong to God. Stand firm, be still, and trust that the one who holds the heavens. And hear this truth. Sometimes God removes certain people from your path, not because they were bad to you, but because they were too small for where He is taking you. Not everyone can carry the weight of your blessing. Not everyone can walk with you into your new season. God is selective with who He allows in your life, because the blessing He is about to release is sacred, and He will not allow it to be contaminated by wrong company. Let go of what God has removed, for if it was meant to stay, it would have stayed. Your breakthrough is not just about you. It is about the testimony that will inspire others. When God blesses you, He blesses you so that others may see His greatness through your life. Your story of struggle to strength, of pain to purpose, will become a light for someone lost in darkness. This is why your battle is so fierce. The enemy fears the impact of your testimony. But fear not, for God has already declared your victory. Beloved, lift your head, wipe your tears, straighten your shoulders. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. God's hand is upon you, and His plan for you cannot fail. The night may seem endless, but the dawn is already breaking. Hold on, for God is about to give you something so big, so powerful, so undeniable, that all who doubted you will have no choice but to say, "This is the work of God." My beloved, there comes a time in every soul's journey when the weight of life feels unbearable. The darkness of uncertainty presses in, and you wonder if the light of dawn will ever shine again. But I tell you with every fiber of conviction, God does not abandon those who call upon Him. When you feel stripped, when you feel empty, when you feel forgotten by the world, that is often the very moment when God is closest. For it is in the silence of brokenness that the voice of God speaks loudest. Do not mistake your waiting as God's neglect. Waiting is God's workshop. It is in the waiting that He reshapes your heart, strengthens your faith, and prepares you for blessings beyond what you can even imagine. You see, if blessings came too early, they might destroy you. If doors opened too soon, you might walk unprepared. But when God in his infinite wisdom holds you back, it is not to harm you. It is to protect you until the right season arrives. And hear me on this. When God decides to elevate you, no hand can hold you down. When God declares increase over your life, no enemy can block it. When God opens a door, no human being can shut it. The rise that comes from God is unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable. And if you have been through storms, if you have been betrayed, if you have been overlooked, then lift up your head, because all that pain was not punishment. It was preparation. Do not envy the quick success of others, for not every elevation comes from God. Some rise like a firework, fast, loud, and bright. But then they fall into darkness just as quickly. But when God raises you, he builds you like a mountain, firm, immovable, and everlasting. A rise from God cannot be reversed. A blessing from God cannot be stolen. A destiny written by God cannot be erased. So I tell you today, stop worrying about who left you. Stop stressing over what you lost. Stop crying over closed doors. What left your life was never meant to carry you to where God is taking you. And what is coming into your life is far greater than anything you left behind. God is not a God of decrease. He is a God of abundance, a God of multiplication, a God of restoration. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and turns it into good. Therefore, walk with courage. Do not tremble before challenges, for every challenge is proof that God trusts you with a greater future. Do not shrink back in fear, for fear is a thief of faith. Stand tall, speak boldly, and keep declaring in your heart, God is with me, God is guiding me, and God is preparing me. Even if the path looks rough, even if the nights feel long, remember God does his finest work in the unseen, in the hidden places, in the silence where no one applauds. And soon, very soon, the same people who doubted you will watch God's hand lift you higher than they ever imagined. The same lips that mocked you will be silenced. The same doors that were slammed shut will open wide, not because of your power, but because of the unmatched, unstoppable, unshakable power of Almighty God. My beloved, let this truth settle deep within your soul. God has never abandoned you, and he never will. Every tear you have shed, every sleepless night you have endured, every battle you thought would break you, God has seen it all, and he has written your victory long before your struggle began. What you think is the end is only the doorway into something far greater. For when God shuts one path, he is already shaping another, one that is higher, richer, and filled with purpose for those who put their trust in him. So step forward with faith. Lift your gaze with confidence. Do not yield to fear, to doubt, or to the lies whispered by the enemy. God has placed strength within you, surrounded you with his protection, and laid out his plan before you. The climb may be steep, the night may feel endless, but morning is on its way, bringing with it the favor of God that no one can take from you. Live boldly, live with unshakable conviction, live assured that the hand of God is leading your every step. When the storm roars, proclaim that your God is mightier. When trials rise up, proclaim that your God is stronger. When people question you, proclaim that your God is faithful. Hold your ground, for your story is not finished. The greatest chapter is still ahead. Place your trust in the one who never fails. For God is preparing a blessing so overwhelming that when it comes you will look back at every tear and say, "It was all worth it." Stand strong, beloved. God is beside you. God is on your side, and He will carry you all the way to victory. This is not your ending. This is the unfolding of the glory God has destined for your life. My beloved friend, hear me with the full weight of your heart. Have you ever felt utterly alone in this vast world? Have you walked through life questioning if anyone truly notices you, truly values you, truly treasures you, not for what you give, not for what you achieve, not for how you appear, but simply for who you are? There is a truth meant to stir your soul today. God is already guiding you towards someone who loves you. Not at some distant point, not someday far off, but even now He is aligning the steps of your journey to bring you face to face with the one prepared to embrace you as you are. Do not think for a moment that love happens by accident. Do not accept the lie that you must pursue people, plead for affection, or push yourself into relationships that drain your spirit. When God is the author of your story, the pages turn with His timing. The connections you need are never the result of chance. They are orchestrated by the unseen hand of God. And take this deeply to heart. If God is leading you, He is not leading you toward rejection, toward betrayal, or toward heartache. God is leading you to someone who already loves you. Someone who by His design recognizes your worth before the world ever did. Many of you have wasted your strength on people who never cared for your soul. You poured your heart into those who only took from you. You gave loyalty to those who repaid you with dishonor. But God does not abandon His children to live in cycles of emptiness. God's love is not expressed by leaving you bound to those who despise your light. No, my friend, God intervenes. He removes the counterfeit so that He may bring the genuine. He closes doors so that you will not keep knocking where no love resides. He shuts down conversations so you will not waste another breath pleading for affection where none exists. And instead He begins to guide your feet toward a divine appointment. A meeting with someone who already values the very essence of who you are. Think about this. Before you were ever aware of your own longing, before you even whispered your prayers for companionship, God already planted love for you in the heart of another. God already designed the intersection of your lives. This is not imagination. This is the reality of divine preparation. The world will tell you to chase love, to compromise for acceptance, to sell your worth cheap just to be chosen. But God says, stand still and watch how I lead you. For when God leads, He leads with precision, and the one He is leading you to already carries within them a love for you. Not a love that must be earned, not a love that must be begged for, but a love that simply, and hear me, child of God, this truth is not only about romance. It stretches far beyond. It may be a friend who will hold you up when you are weary. It may be a mentor who will see your potential when others overlooked it. It may be a partner in life who will walk beside you with unwavering faithfulness. Whoever it is, the principle stands. God is leading you to someone who already loves you. This love is not selfish. It is not shallow. It is not temporary. It is deep. It is pure. It is steady because it has been authored by the hand of the Almighty. But let me warn you, the reason so many miss this blessing is because they refuse to trust the timing of God. You grow impatient. You want to see everything now. You settle for less because waiting feels too long. You compromise because loneliness feels too heavy. And in doing so, you trade the eternal plan of God for a temporary fix. Do not do it. Do not ruin what God has been preparing for you, simply because you refuse to wait. The one God has for you is not hidden because they do not exist. They are hidden because the right time has not yet arrived. Just as the sun rises not a moment too early and not a moment too late, so too will God's timing bring forth the person who already carries love for you in their heart. Lift your head and walk with dignity. Stop crying over those who left you. Stop chasing after those who ignored you. Stop mourning over those who despise the gift you are. If they walked away, let them go. If they rejected you, thank God, for He was saving you from false love. If they betrayed you, rejoice, for God was exposing their true heart before you gave them more of yourself. The rejection you faced was not the end of your story. It was the clearing of the path for someone who already loves you to step in. God never removes without replacing. God never allows loss without preparing gain. And the one He has for you, mark my words, they will not need to be convinced to love you. They already do. Oh, how freeing it is when you finally understand that you do not need to beg for what God has already prepared. When you grasp this, your soul rests. You stop striving. You stop lowering yourself. You stop entertaining counterfeits. Instead, you stand in holy confidence, knowing that the same God who formed you, who numbered your days, who clothed you in worth, is the same God leading you step by step toward a soul that honors you. And this love, because it is from God, will not waver when storms come. It will not fade when trials arise. It will not vanish when difficulties appear. For what God authors cannot be erased by the world. Some of you listening right now have prayed for years asking God, when will it be my turn? When will I see love that is true, love that does not hurt, love that does not abandon? And I am here to tell you, God has heard every word of your prayer. He has seen every tear you cried in secret. He has watched the nights you lay awake in silence, wondering if anyone would ever truly care for you. And God has not been blind to your pain. No, He has been working in the unseen, aligning circumstances, shaping hearts, preparing the right moment when your paths will cross. Do not think that God has forgotten you. He has been orchestrating something greater than you could imagine. The love God is leading you to is not noisy. It is not a performance. It does not need to announce itself with grand displays. It simply is, and you will know it not because it screams loudly, but because it feels like peace. You will recognize it not because it forces itself, but because it flows naturally. You will see it not because you had to demand it, but because it was freely given. The soul God is preparing for you already holds this love. And when you meet them, you will not need to fight to be valued. They will see you and they will know. Do not underestimate the power of God's leading. Sometimes He will shut down opportunities you thought were good because He knows they would destroy you. Sometimes He will delay because He knows you are not ready yet. Sometimes He will test your patience because He wants to refine your faith. But through it all, the destination remains the same. And He is leading you to someone who already loves you. Listen closely, my friend, because this message is not a coincidence for you today. This is not just another moment scrolling through life. This is a divine interruption. God has brought these words before you because He wants to shake the doubt from your heart and awaken your faith once again. God is leading you to someone who already loves you. Not tomorrow, not in some vague hope, but in the living reality of His plan unfolding step by step. And if God has declared it, no force in this world can undo it. So many walk through life hungry for love, begging for crumbs of attention, chasing after people who do not value them. But God never intended for His children to live begging. God never intended for you to bow before rejection and call it love. Love in its purest form is a gift that flows from Him. And when God is the one leading, the person He brings into your life is not coming to use you, not coming to harm you, not coming to test your worth. They are coming because the love in their heart was planted there by the hand of God Himself. No need. Do you understand what this means? It means you do not have to twist yourself into someone you are not. You do not have to beg to be chosen. You do not have to sacrifice your dignity to earn what is already written in your destiny. The one God has prepared for you is not blind to your worth. They already see it. They already feel it. They already love you. Not because you performed for it. Not because you begged for it. But because God has aligned their heart with yours. Oh, how often we settle for less than this. How often we chase after people who never had the capacity to love us in the first place. And then when they leave, we cry out to God as though He has failed us. But hear me well. Every person who walked away was part of God's protection. Every closed door was God's mercy. Every heartbreak was God saving you from counterfeit love, so that your heart would be free to receive the one who already carries true love for you within their soul. And this love, the one God is guiding you to, is not ordinary. It is not shallow. It is not temporary. It will not fade like the love of this world. It will not collapse under pressure. It will not disappear when the storm comes. Why? Because it is not man-made. It is God-given. And what God gives, no hand can take away. What God ordains, no force can destroy. What God plants, no storm can uproot. You may not see it now, but God is arranging things behind the scenes. That is why certain relationships ended suddenly. That is why certain friendships dried up. That is why certain people lost interest in you without explanation. It was not your fault. It was God's hand removing the wrong ones so you would not be distracted when the right one appeared. God is too wise to let you waste years in the arms of someone who does not truly love you. And God is too faithful to leave you empty. But I must remind you, God's leading requires your trust. You cannot receive this blessing if you are still holding on to bitterness from the past. You cannot see where God is taking you if your eyes are still fixed on what He already removed. Do not cling to dead branches when God has prepared a tree that bears living fruit. Do not cry for what left when what is coming is ordained with eternal purpose. The one God is preparing for you will not need convincing. They already love you. And let me tell you something else. When this person enters your life, you will know. You will not need to force it. You will not need to chase it. You will not need to prove yourself. Their love will feel like rest, not like striving. Their presence will feel like peace, not confusion. For God is not the author of chaos, but of clarity. When he leads you to someone who already loves you, everything about it will carry the fingerprint of his divine peace. But do not mistake God's peace for the absence of trials. Yes, challenges may come. Yes, life may still test you. But the love God has prepared will withstand it. Why? Because real love, love planted by God, is tested but not broken, shaken but not destroyed, pressed but not crushed. It is a love that endures because it does not come from selfish desire, but from the eternal will of God. Let this truth liberate you. You do not need to chase people anymore. You do not need to compete for attention anymore. You do not need to diminish your worth just to feel wanted. God has already written love into your story, and the one he is leading you to is already carrying it for you. The burden you feel now is only the weight of transition, the shifting of your life as God removes what was false and makes room for what is true. My friend, I want you to open the eyes of your heart and hear this with all the weight of truth. When God is guiding you, he is not guiding you aimlessly. He is not pushing you in circles. He is not leaving you to stumble in confusion. Every step you take, every turn you make, every door that opens and every door that shuts is part of a divine choreography. And within that design, there is a destination. God is leading you to someone who already loves you. This is not mere comfort for your loneliness. It is a truth that carries the authority of God's promise. Think of how God works in creation. He sets the stars in the heavens, not one out of place. He orders the seas, not one drop wasted. He designs every season, every sunrise, every sunset with precision. If God takes such care in the details of creation, how much more care does he take in guiding the relationships that will shape your destiny? You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. God's hand is on your life, and his plan is to lead you into a love that already exists for you, a love that has been waiting for you before you even knew how to ask for it. Now, here's a truth that many overlook. Before God brings the right person into your life, he will allow the wrong ones to reveal themselves. He will let counterfeits walk across your path so that you will recognize the difference when the genuine arrives. Every heartbreak was not punishment, it was preparation. Every betrayal was not a curse, it was education. Every rejection was not abandonment, it was God's redirection. The very pain you thought was breaking you was shaping you to discern real love when it finally appears. And the one God is leading you to already carries that love in their soul, waiting for the appointed moment to meet you. But understand this, God does not prepare only the one you are meant to meet. He prepares you too. Many people cry out for love, but are not yet ready to receive it. They want loyalty while living in compromise. They want depth while dwelling in shallowness. They want commitment while entertaining distraction. God's love cannot be planted in unprepared soil. That is why he has been refining you, stripping away your pride, cleansing your heart, teaching you patience and strengthening your faith. He has been pruning you so that when the one who already loves you appears, you will not sabotage the blessing by carrying the wounds of your past. This is why you cannot cling to bitterness. Bitterness poisons love. Resentment blinds your vision. Anger shuts down your ability to see God's hand at work. Release it. Let go of the grudges against those who failed to love you. Do not carry the shadows of yesterday into the sunrise of tomorrow. God cannot lead you forward while you are chained to the past. Free yourself, because the one He is guiding you to deserves the healed version of you, the version that knows how to love without fear and receive love without suspicion. And mark this in your spirit. The love God is leading you to is not love that drains you, but love that fills you. It is not love that breaks you, but love that builds you. It is not love that hides, but love that is open, honest, steady, and strong. It does not manipulate. It does not disappear when tested. Why? Because it is anchored in God's will, not in human convenience. And when something is anchored in God's will, no storm can uproot it. Too many have confused infatuation with love, attention with affection, flattery with devotion. These counterfeits glitter on the surface, but carry no depth in the soul. But the one God has for you, the one who already loves you, will see through to your spirit. They will honor your worth, even when the world ignores it. They will support your growth, even when it demands sacrifice. They will stand by you not for what you can give, but for who you are, and they will love you not because of their own strength, but because God Himself placed that love in their heart. Do not think it's strange then when God delays. Do not think it's strange when you watch others find companionship while you're still waiting. Your path is different. Your timing is sacred. Your journey is unique. God is not measuring you against others. He is preparing something specifically for you. And while others may settle quickly, you are called to wait for the extraordinary. Their story may be rushed, but yours will be refined. Their connection may be shallow, but yours will be divine. And when God finally unveils it, you will see why the wait was worth every tear, every lonely night, every unanswered question. Here is a vision I want you to hold in your heart. One day you will look back at the people who rejected you and thank God they did. You will look back at the doors that closed and bless God they shut. You will look back at the nights you cried and realize those tears were watering the soil for your harvest. And standing before you will be the one God prepared, the one who already loves you. And in that moment, you will understand nothing was wasted, nothing was delayed, nothing was in vain. It was all the hand of God leading you step by step into the embrace of a love that was destined for you. So, rise in faith and walk with confidence. Stop lowering your standards to fit into spaces that God never called you to. Stop begging for love where there is none. Stop forcing connections that God has already broken. If you must beg for attention, it is not love. If you must compromise your dignity, it is not love. If you must silence your truth, it is not love. The one God has prepared already carries love for you freely without condition. And when you encounter it, you will finally understand the difference between what the world calls love and what God has prepared as love. And let me say this boldly. God's plan for you is not just to be loved, but to be cherished. God's plan is not just for you to be accepted, but to be celebrated. God's plan is not just for you to be tolerated, but to be embraced fully, wholly, joyfully. And the one he is leading you to will not see you as an option. They will see you as destiny. They will not treat you as temporary. They will treat you as irreplaceable, because their love for you will not be born out of convenience, but out of God's eternal design. This is why I tell you, trust God. Trust him when it hurts. Trust him when it delays. Trust him when it makes no sense. Trust him when you feel overlooked. Trust him when you are tired of waiting. For what he has planned is greater than what you imagine. And the one he is leading you to will make you forget the pain of those who failed you, because their love will prove that every rejection was worth it. God is not leading you toward heartbreak. God is not leading you toward betrayal. God is not leading you toward emptiness. God is leading you towards someone who already loves you. Someone who at this very moment may be praying for you, may be longing for you, may be preparing their heart for you, just as you are being prepared for them. And when the paths of your lives finally meet, you will not call it luck. You will not call it chance. You will know deep in your soul it was God. My beloved friend, let me drive this truth even deeper into your spirit. When God leads, he leads with purpose. He does not send people into your life by accident. He does not arrange meetings without intention. Every encounter, every moment, every crossing of paths is part of a design greater than your understanding. And the highest proof of his care is this: God is leading you to someone who already loves you. Before you even knew how to cry out for love, before your lips ever formed a prayer, God had already placed love for you in another heart. That love is not forming, it already exists. That love is not conditional, it is eternal, because God himself authored it. Now hear me, because this is where many fail to grasp the wisdom of God. Love, the kind that comes from him, does not begin when you meet someone. It is planted before you ever arrive. Just as a seed is buried in the ground long before the harvest is seen, so has God buried love for you in the heart of another, waiting for the season when it will bloom before your eyes. This is why you cannot rush. You cannot demand the fruit before the seed has matured. If you pull too early, you ruin the harvest. But if you trust God's timing, you will taste love at its ripest, purest, most perfect form. The love he has been nurturing for you all along. Some of you feel weary because the waiting has stretched too long. You watch others walking hand in hand while you still journey alone. And in the quiet, the questions rise. Has God forgotten me? Has he passed me by? The answer is no. God has not forgotten you. He is guarding you. He is keeping you from false love so that when the real one arrives, you will recognize it without confusion. The silence you feel is not abandonment. It is preparation. The waiting you endure is not rejection. It is refinement. For what God is shaping for you is too valuable to be rushed. And now let me speak to the tender places of your heart. Do not mistake the rejections of your past as proof of your lack of worth. They were never about your value. They reveal something about those who left, that they were not strong enough to carry the weight of your love. And so in his mercy, God removed them. Not because you were undeserving, but because you were deserving of something greater. A love that already sees you, already respects you, already treasures you. A love that has been chosen for you by the hand of God himself. This is why you must stop looking backward. You cannot drive forward while staring in the rearview mirror. You cannot step into the love God has prepared while holding on to the ashes of what he has burned away. Release it. Let go of the bitterness. Forgive the ones who could not stay. Bless the ones who betrayed you, because every departure was a doorway to destiny. Every goodbye was making room for a hello from the one God has chosen. And that one, even now, already carries love for you in their heart. Understand this. When God leads you to them, it will not be forced. It will not be confusing. It will not leave you doubting whether it is real. God is not the author of chaos. He is the author of clarity. His love is not noisy. It is steady. His guidance is not frantic. It is peaceful. When you meet the one he has prepared, you will feel the calm assurance that you are exactly where you belong. Their love will not demand you to prove your worth. It will recognize your worth. Their love will not drain you. It will strengthen you. Their love will not fade when challenges come. It will endure because its root is in God. But here is the warning. You must be willing to follow God's leading even when it takes you through seasons of loneliness. Sometimes God will isolate you not to punish you but to purify you. He will separate you from distractions so you can hear his voice more clearly. He will strip away counterfeits so you can stop confusing noise for truth. The wilderness is not the end of your story. It is the preparation ground for your promise. And while you walk through it, trust that God is also preparing someone else who already loves you. Someone who is walking through their own journey so that at the right moment your paths will collide like rivers flowing into one stream. And let me say something that will set many free. The love God is leading you to will not require you to compromise your faith, your values, or your dignity. If you must bend what you believe to keep them, they are not from God. If you must lower your standards to hold on to them, they are not from God. The one God has prepared will honor your faith, respect your values, and celebrate your dignity. They will love you in alignment with God's truth, not in rebellion against it. Because God does not join you to someone who will lead you away from him. God only leads you to someone who will help anchor you in him. And oh, the beauty of this divine love. It will not feel like a burden, but like a blessing. It will not exhaust you, but will refresh your soul. It will not weaken you, but will strengthen your faith. Together you will walk in unity, not because you are identical, but because God has aligned your hearts. And when challenges come, and they will, you will not crumble. Because the love that holds you together is not dependent on convenience, but on the eternal will of God. My beloved, understand this truth. When people turn against you without reason, when hearts that once smiled at you suddenly turn cold, it is not always a reflection of your character, but a revelation of theirs. Do not waste your energy trying to explain yourself to those who are blinded by envy or hardened by pride. For the hatred that suddenly rises against you is not born in the light of truth, but in the shadows of insecurity. And God, in his infinite wisdom, allows it. So you may learn not to depend on the fragile approval of people, but to stand firmly on his eternal foundation. Do not be shaken when their whispers grow louder. Do not tremble when their rejection pierces your soul. For God does not measure you by their words. He measures you by your heart. The same God who raised prophets above the insults of their nations is the same God who will carry you through the storms of slander and betrayal. Those who hate you are not your enemies. They are your teachers sent by God to strip away your need for human applause so that you may walk clothed only in the approval of heaven. Remember this, the hatred of people is often the evidence of God's favor upon your life. Because light will always disturb darkness, purity will always expose corruption, and truth will always agitate lies. So when people rise against you without cause, it is a sign that your presence carries weight, that your spirit carries fire, and that your destiny carries greatness. God is sharpening you through their rejection, molding you through their envy, and preparing to exalt you above the reach of their schemes. Do not fight back with bitterness, for bitterness chains the soul. Do not curse them in anger, for anger blinds the heart. Instead, rise above. Trust God to be your defender, your shield, and your judge. For the one who sees in secret knows every plot, every lie, and every act of hatred launched against you. And when God decides to act, no hand can stop his justice. Hear me. Sometimes God allows the hate of others to push you out of places you were never meant to stay. Their rejection becomes the divine wind that propels you into a higher calling. Their betrayal becomes the very key that unlocks the next door of your destiny. So instead of asking, "Why do they hate me?" lift your eyes and ask God, "What are you teaching me through this?" For every attack carries within it a hidden lesson. And every storm conceals a greater blessing. Beloved, stay steadfast. Let your heart remain anchored in the truth that God is your portion, your protector, and your sustainer. The hatred of people may surround you, but the love of God will shield you. Their words may cut, but God's hand will heal. Their rejection may sting, but God's acceptance will lift you higher than you ever imagined. Walk with courage, for the hatred of men cannot undo the favor of God. My beloved, when people rise up against you, when envy poisons their hearts and their words drip with malice, do not be shaken. Do not waste your days trying to understand why hatred suddenly appeared where there was once peace. Understand this truth. The closer you move toward the light of God, the more the darkness within others is exposed. Their hostility is not truly against you. It is against the reflection of God's presence shining through you. Hatred is often the reaction of weak spirits who cannot bear the weight of truth or the glow of divine favor resting on your life. God does not allow hatred to touch you without purpose. He allows it to awaken your strength, sharpen your faith, and test your endurance. Hatred is not a sign of your downfall. It is a signal of your elevation. The storms people create around you are often God's way of pushing you higher. Like the eagle that soars above the storm, you too are being called to rise above the noise of bitterness and resentment. Let their hatred become the wind beneath your wings, carrying you to the heights God has prepared for you. When they speak against you, remember God hears. When they plot against you, remember God sees. When they try to destroy you, remember God protects. Nothing reaches you except by God's will. And if God allows it, then it will only serve as a tool to refine you. Hatred cannot stop a soul chosen by God. Malice cannot erase a destiny sealed by His decree. You are not defined by their words. You are defined by God's plan. And His plan is always greater than the schemes of man. So walk with dignity. Hold your head high. Do not waste your energy fighting shadows. The truth is this: those who hate you are often revealing the greatness God has placed inside you. If you were insignificant, no one would waste their breath on you. The jealousy of others is a silent confirmation of your value. Their rejection is often God's redirection. Their opposition is often the stage upon which God displays His protection. Therefore, let no hatred disturb your peace. Anchor your soul in God alone. For hatred may roar like thunder, but the calm of God will always outlast the storm. Those who despise you today may watch in awe tomorrow, when God exalts you before their very eyes. Be patient, for the hand of God is steady, and His timing is perfect. My beloved, when God raises you up, there is nothing on earth or in the heavens that can pull you down. But you must understand this truth: the higher God lifts you, the stronger the winds of opposition will blow. When God places His light upon you, do not be surprised when darkness tries to surround you. People will begin to whisper, criticize, and even hate you, not because of who you are, but because of the God who works mightily through you. Hatred is often not about you at all. It is about the reflection of God's glory shining through your life. Do not be shaken when those who once praised you suddenly turn against you. Do not lose heart when the ones you help the most become the ones who betray you. This is not a sign of your weakness. It is a sign of your divine calling. The hatred of people is often the confirmation that you are walking in the will of God. If you were doing nothing, if you were standing for nothing, if you carried no truth, no power, and no purpose, then no one would bother opposing you. But because you carry the presence of God, the enemy cannot remain silent. Hatred is a strange thing. It is fueled not always by your faults, but by your favor. Some people see what God has given you, and instead of rejoicing, they burn with envy. They see the peace you have and the strength you walk with, the blessings over your life, and deep within their hearts, they cannot bear it. Yet, my friend, their hatred is powerless against the hand of God. When God has chosen to protect you, no evil plot can succeed. When God has decreed your rise, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So lift your head high and do not be discouraged. Remember that the greatest men and women chosen by God throughout history faced opposition. They were mocked, rejected, and hated. But God sustained them. God uplifted them, and God vindicated them. Do not waste your energy fighting back with bitterness. Do not lower yourself to the level of those who despise you. Instead, stand firm, rooted in the strength of God, and let Him be your defender. For the hatred of people cannot stop the love of God, and the rejection of man cannot cancel the acceptance of the Almighty. Hold on to this truth. The very people who speak against you today will one day witness how God has blessed you. Those who doubted you will be silenced by the evidence of God's hand on your life. And while they may hate you, they cannot deny that the power of God surrounds you. Their hatred is only a shadow, but you walk in the light of the one who created all things. My beloved, let me remind you again, when people turn against you without reason, when hearts that once smiled at you suddenly burn with bitterness, it is not always a reflection of who you are. It is often a revelation of what God has placed within you. Hatred is sometimes a reaction not to your actions, but to your very existence, because your presence carries the light of God, and light will always disturb the darkness. Do not be shaken by their words. Do not bow beneath the weight of their rejection. For what they see in you is the evidence of God's favor upon your life, and favor always provokes envy. Understand this truth. God allows the hidden intentions of people to be revealed through their sudden hatred. What was concealed in their hearts comes to the surface, so you may see clearly who is truly for you and who only pretended to be. God removes the mask from the faces of those who wish you harm, not to break you, but to save you from walking with the wrong ones. He separates you so that his purpose can be fulfilled without interference. When their voices rise against you, do not answer with bitterness. Answer with silence and trust. For God himself is your defender. When God chooses to elevate you, understand that not everyone will rejoice. Some will smile in your face, but tremble in their hearts, because the same God who lifts you reminds them of their own emptiness. But do not let their hatred pull you down. Keep your eyes fixed on God, for his hand is not moved by the opinions of men. Their rejection cannot cancel God's plan. Their whispers cannot undo his decree. He who called you will sustain you, and he who sustains you will vindicate you. Let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, hatred can be a signal. It is a signpost that you are moving in the direction God has set for you. If no one ever opposed you, if no one ever spoke against you, it may be a sign that you are standing still. But when God propels you forward, when he shifts you into new territory, resistance will come. And that resistance is not there to stop you. It is there to prove you. It is in the face of opposition that your faith must stand tall, declaring, God is enough for me. God is my protector. God is my witness. Do not allow their hatred to turn into hatred within you. That is the trap of the enemy. The moment you allow bitterness to enter your heart, you lose sight of God's peace. Let their hatred be fuel for your closeness to God. Let their rejection push you deeper into prayer. Let their betrayal teach you to rely not on human approval, but on the approval of the Almighty. For God's love is greater than every insult. His presence is richer than every friendship you lost. His promise is stronger than every lie spoken against you. My beloved, let me tell you this truth with the fire of conviction. When people rise against you without cause, when whispers turn into storms of slander, when hands that once applauded you suddenly point in accusation, do not be shaken. For these storms are not always born from your failures, but from the greatness that God has placed inside you. Darkness despises light. Mediocrity despises excellence. Weakness despises strength. And when the hand of God is upon you, when his favor rests on your life, the envy of others will rise like waves crashing against a rock. But the rock does not move. It stands because its foundation is God Himself. Do not seek to defend yourself endlessly before men, for your defender is the Lord. Do not waste your breath trying to explain your calling to those who are blind to it, for sight is a gift that only God can give. Instead, keep your eyes fixed on the one who lifts you above the hatred of men, for the truth is their hatred is often the very confirmation of your anointing. If you were insignificant, no one would care. But because God has marked you for a higher purpose, the adversary stirs hearts against you to distract and discourage you. But listen to me. When God has decreed your rise, no slander can block it. When God has opened your door, no enemy can close it. When God has chosen to honor you, no crowd of haters can stop His hand. Their hatred will not break you. It will make you. Their jealousy will not kill you. It will push you closer to your destiny. Just as fire refines these gold, so too does opposition refine the soul that trusts in God. So take this as your strength. Every attack against you is secretly an announcement that God is doing something great in your life. The louder the hatred, the greater the destiny. The fiercer the resistance, the closer the breakthrough. God is not silent. He is preparing you to stand where others cannot stand, to shine where others cannot shine, to endure what others cannot endure. Do not bend under their pressure. Do not surrender to their schemes. Instead, stand tall, walk boldly, and keep moving in faith. For the shield of God is upon you. He will make your enemies stumble in their own traps. He will cause their weapons to return to their own hands. He will turn their hatred into your elevation. And when it is all said and done, the same mouths that cursed you will have no choice but to witness your blessing. Lift your head, chosen soul. The hate you face is not your destruction. It is your announcement. God is revealing to you that your light cannot be hidden, and no darkness can overcome what He has ordained. Trust Him, for His plan is greater than their plots, and His power is stronger than their poison. Beloved, remember this truth. When people suddenly hate you, it is not always about who you are, but about what God has placed within you. Their rejection is not your downfall. It is your confirmation that you are chosen, set apart, and divinely guided. Do not chase after those who walk away, for if they could leave, they were never meant to stay. Do not waste your tears on those who turn cold, for God Himself has removed them so your destiny may unfold. Raise your spirit with courage and hold on to this truth. Every word of hatred will transform into a story of resilience. Every act of betrayal will become a step that lifts you higher. Every door that shuts will open the path to a greater one that only God Himself can unlock. What people intend for harm, God will turn into good. So move forward with boldness, live without fear, and anchor your trust in God alone. Let them despise, let them gossip, let them ridicule, for their voices will eventually fade. But the voice of God endures forever. And when His hand rests upon you, no power in heaven or earth can hinder the blessing, the covering, and the destiny He has set for your life. That is why you must not waver. You must not crumble. You must not bow beneath the weight of human opinion. Because at the end of all things, it is not the verdict of man that defines you. It is the strength, the mercy, and the favor of the Almighty God. Stand unwavering, stand unshaken, and walk with confidence, knowing God is by your side. And that, my friend, is more than enough. My dear friend, listen closely today. The very thing you have been praying over, the very one your heart has been yearning for, the very person shaped by God's own hand to walk beside you in this life, is about to move with urgency. Yes, your soulmate is on the verge of taking bold, decisive steps to be with you. When God decrees something, nothing on earth or in heaven can stop it from coming to pass. There is a stirring in the unseen, a movement orchestrated by God Himself. It is aligning hearts, shifting circumstances, and preparing the path for a divine union. Many of you hearing this right now have wept in secret. You have asked God, why must I wait so long? Why does my heart ache with emptiness? Why has loneliness been my portion when I have tried to walk faithfully before you? Yet deep inside your spirit there is a whisper, a stirring, an unshakable knowing that you were not created to journey through life alone. God Himself placed in your heart the longing for companionship, for covenant, for that one person formed before time began to mirror your soul. Do not think for a moment that God has forgotten you. Do not think for a moment that your prayers have been ignored. God is never late and He is never careless. His timing is not like our timing. His ways are not like our ways. While you have been waiting, God has been preparing. While you have been praying, God has been shaping. While you have been waiting, God has been writing a story. So beautiful, so unexpected, so beyond anything you could have imagined, that when it unfolds, you will fall to your knees in awe of His faithfulness. The person whom God has chosen for you is not just anyone. They are not a counterfeit. They are not a distraction. They are not a fleeting desire. They are your God-ordained soulmate. And when God stirs a soulmate to move, He does not stir them with timidity. He does not stir them with hesitation. He stirs them with urgency. He places in their heart a fire that cannot be quenched, a restlessness that will not let them go until they take the drastic step of coming into alignment with His will for their life and for yours. Oh, dear friend, do you know what that means? It means you do not need to chase. You do not need to beg. 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 You do not need to seek. God Himself is the author of this connection, and He is the one who will cause the hearts to align. Your soulmate is not going to remain silent forever. They are not going to stay complacent. They are not going to ignore the tugging of God's Spirit. They will move, and when they will move with boldness, with certainty, with conviction, and with determination to be with you. And perhaps you are wondering, but why now? Why after so long? Because God is a God of appointed times. He is a God of seasons. And just as the farmer waits for the rain, just as the seed waits for its time to break through the soil, just as the sun rises at the appointed hour, so too your union has an appointed moment. That moment is drawing near. You can feel it in the atmosphere. You can sense it in your spirit. You can perceive the shift even if you cannot yet see it with your eyes. Do not mistake delays for denial. Do not mistake silence for absence. Your soulmate has been tested. They have walked through valleys. They have faced battles. They have been refined in the fire. They have been shaped in the wilderness. And now God is placing a holy urgency upon them. They are realizing that life without you is incomplete, that their destiny is tied to yours, that their future cannot unfold fully without aligning with you. This urgency is not born of human desire alone. It is born of divine orchestration. It is the hand of God pressing upon their heart, reminding them, convicting them, urging them that the time has come. They will not sleep peacefully until they take action. They will not rest contentedly until they pursue what God has ordained. They will move mountains. They will break barriers. They will cross distances. They will defy opinions. They will risk everything to stand by your side. Because when God decrees a union, no force of darkness, no voice of doubt, no chain of circumstance can hold it. Hear me carefully. This is not about a fairy tale. This is not about human fantasy. This is about divine purpose. When your soulmate comes, they are not coming to simply hold your hand. They are coming to walk with you in God's calling. They are coming to stand beside you in your assignment. They are coming to pray with you, to build with you, to dream with you, to labor with you, to worship with you. They are coming because your souls are intertwined in destiny, and together you will fulfill what alone you could not. You must prepare your heart. You must be ready for the drastic action that is coming, because when they come, it may shake your world. It may require you to leave behind old doubts, old wounds, old fears. It may require you to step into courage, to embrace vulnerability, to accept the blessing God is placing before you. Do not sabotage what God is sending with suspicion or hesitation. When the door opens, walk through it with faith. When the opportunity arises, seize it with boldness. When the person stands before you, recognize them for who they are. Not just a companion, but the answer to your prayer, the fulfillment of God's promise, the embodiment of His faithfulness. I want you to understand something profound. Your soulmate is not simply choosing you. God has already chosen them for you. The drastic action they are about to take is not just their own decision. It is obedience to God's prompting. And when someone obeys God, blessings follow, protection follows, favor follows. A divine covering surrounds that union. And what God blesses, no man can curse. Perhaps you feel unworthy. Perhaps you think, why would anyone take drastic action for me? I am flawed. I am broken. I am scarred. But let me remind you, God does not see you as the world sees you. He sees you as His beloved. He sees you as valuable. He sees you as chosen. And the one He has prepared for you will see you through the same lens. They will not see you as a burden. They will see you as a blessing. They will not see your scars as disqualifications. They will see them as testimonies. They will not see your brokenness as a reason to walk away. They will see it as proof of God's sustaining power in your life. The drastic action your soulmate is about to take will astonish you. It will not be half-hearted. It will not be casual. It will be bold. It will be undeniable. It will carry the weight of conviction and the seal of God's authority. You will know without a shadow of a doubt that this is not by chance. This is God's hand. This is God's timing. This is God's will. And so I tell you today, be expectant. Live in anticipation. Carry yourself with dignity. Keep your faith strong. Do not let discouragement poison your hope. Do not let past betrayals blind you to present blessings. Do not let fear hold you back from receiving love. What is coming is bigger than your fears, stronger than your doubts, greater than your imagination. My friend, your soulmate is about to move. They are about to step out of hesitation and into destiny. They are about to silence the voices of doubt and follow the whisper of God. They are about to rearrange their life, their priorities, their path to align with the will of God for both of you. And when they do, you will witness firsthand the power of God to orchestrate lives, to align hearts, to weave destinies, and to fulfill promises. This is your appointed time. This is your answered prayer. This is your testimony in the making. God is faithful, and He is about to prove it in the most breathtaking way. My friend, when God sets something in motion, no power on earth can stop it. The wind may blow against it, the enemy may try to resist it, voices may rise to oppose it, but what God has decreed will stand firm. The soul that belongs with you is not wandering aimlessly. They are being guided step by the invisible hand of God. And in this very season, that guiding hand is pressing upon them with force, stirring their heart with urgency, and leading them to take bold steps toward you. There is a holy restlessness that God places upon a person when the appointed time comes. They will not be able to find peace in the things that once distracted them. They will not be able to settle for shallow connections or temporary comforts. God will strip away the illusions. He will remove the counterfeits. He will dry up every well that is not meant for them until they are thirsty enough to seek the living stream that flows only in the direction of His divine will. That stream is leading them to you. Do you not see how God works? He closes one door so you will not be trapped in the wrong place. He allows disappointment so you will not waste your years in counterfeit promises. He permits heartbreak so that your heart can be purified and prepared for the one who will cherish it with reverence. God is not punishing you in the waiting. He is preserving you. He is guarding your soul until the one He has chosen is ready to step forward. And hear me well, drastic action is never comfortable. It is not safe. It is not predictable. It is a leap into the unknown. But when God compels a soul, they cannot resist. Your soulmate is about to reach a point where hesitation is no longer an option. They will break patterns that held them captive. They will silence the fears that once controlled them. They will rise with courage that only God could place in their spirit. They will look at the obstacles before them and say, no matter what stands in my way, I must move and I must act. I must go where God is leading me. That action will surprise even them. For years, perhaps they thought they could manage without you. They believed they could ignore the pull, suppress the desire, bury the conviction. But God has a way of bringing things to the surface. He has a way of igniting fires that cannot be quenched. He has a way of pressing upon the human spirit until obedience becomes the only option. That is what is happening now. The one He has chosen for you is on the brink of surrender to that holy prompting. And once they do, you will see them step forward with a determination that nothing can shake. Some of you are wondering if this is too good to be true. You have been deceived before. You have been disappointed before. You have opened your heart only to see it crushed under the weight of broken promises. But God does not repeat the wounds of the past when He brings forth His true gift. The past was preparation. The pain was training. The tears watered the soil of your spirit, so that now when the right one arrives, you will recognize them not by charm, not by words, not by fleeting emotions, but by the undeniable witness of God's presence surrounding the union. Let me tell you something important. When this drastic action comes, it will not be hidden in shadows. It will not be whispered in secrecy. It will not be half-hearted. It will be clear. It will be decisive. It will be bold. You will not have to chase it, question it, or force it. It will come to you with the unmistakable mark of God's hand. That is how you will know it is real. Do not be surprised if this action defies logic. Do not be surprised if it goes against human reasoning. God does not always work according to human logic. He does not bow to the opinions of others. When he commands a heart to move, that heart will obey regardless of cost. Your soulmate may leave behind comfort zones. They may walk away from familiar places. They may abandon old plans, but they will do it gladly because the conviction of God's will is stronger than the pull of worldly security. And I say to you, prepare yourself. Prepare your heart to receive. Prepare your spirit to embrace. Prepare your mind to adjust. Because what God is bringing will not fit into the small box of your expectations. It will stretch you. It will call you higher. It will demand that you grow, that you heal, that you step into greater faith. God does not bring ordinary unions to his chosen ones. He brings unions that carry weight, purpose, and destiny. And when such a union arrives, it will elevate both souls into realms of blessing they could never reach alone. There will be voices that question. There will be people who doubt. There will be whispers that say, "This cannot be from God." But ignore them. They do not know what God has spoken in the quiet chambers of your spirit. They have not heard the whispers in the night when you poured out your heart to him. They have not seen the visions that stirred in your dreams. They have not felt the confirmation that floods your soul when you pray. They cannot see what God has destined, for his ways are hidden from the proud, but revealed to the faithful. Your soulmate is about to do what others thought they never would. They are about to take risks others will not understand. They are about to walk paths others would fear, but they will do it because God has written your name upon their heart. No one else will satisfy. No one else will complete. No one else will bring that deep God-given peace. And until they move toward you, they will not find rest. I must remind you, do not mistake their drastic action as their strength alone. It is not by human will that this will happen, and it is by God's power. If God had not stirred them, they would remain in place. If God had not placed fire in their soul, they would remain passive. But because God has marked this time, because he has declared this season, they cannot stay where they are. They must come. They must act. They must align with destiny. There is a truth you must hold tightly to in this moment. When God chooses to align two souls, he does it with precision, with purpose, and with power. This is not a random collision. It is not mere chance. It is the unfolding of a divine script, written before you even understood the longing of your heart. And in this season, that script is coming alive. The one who belongs beside you is awakening to the call of God, and the urgency within them is no longer something they can ignore. Understand this. Drastic action is the language of divine urgency. When God presses upon a heart, he does not nudge it timidly. He ignites it with fire. That fire burns away excuses. It consumes fear. It overcomes hesitation. Your soulmate is about to step into that fire-driven obedience. They are about to make a move that will change both of your lives forever. But why drastic? Why so bold, so unshakable, so undeniable? Because anything less would not break through the barriers that have stood in the way. Anything less would not silence the voices of doubt, the weight of fear, the resistance of circumstance. Only drastic action can override the obstacles. And when God commands such action, it carries unstoppable force. Think of it this way. When the river is dammed up, it takes a mighty breaking for the waters to flow again. When the night is at its darkest, it takes the explosion of dawn to shatter the shadows. When chains have bound for too long, it takes the violent breaking of metal for freedom to come. Your soulmate's drastic action will be like that. It will break barriers, shatter delays, silence doubts, and release a flood of God's blessing. And you, child of God, must not only expect it but prepare for it. You cannot meet this divine moment with fear. You cannot meet it with suspicion. You cannot let the wounds of yesterday blind you to the miracle of today. The drastic action that is coming is not like what you have known before. This is not manipulation, not counterfeit affection, not empty promises. This is God's hand moving upon the heart of another to fulfill his promise to you. God has a way of stirring the unseen. He works in the silence. He moves in the shadows. He orchestrates in the background what you cannot yet see in the foreground. While you were weeping, he was aligning. While you were waiting, he was preparing. While you were praying, he was shaping. And now the fruit of that hidden work is about to emerge. Do not underestimate the power of divine timing. If this had come earlier, you might not have been ready. If it had come before, your soulmate may not have been prepared. But now, after the shaping, after the testing, after the refining fire, the time has come. And when God says the time has come, no delay can remain, no obstacle can stand, no enemy can hinder. Let me speak to the waiting heart right now. You have been faithful in the season of loneliness. You have walked through the valley of silence. You have endured the whispers of doubt. You have carried the weight of questions that seemed unanswered. But know this, every tear watered the soil. Every prayer built the foundation. Every lonely night carved the capacity within you to receive the blessing that is now at your door. Your soulmate is about to awaken to this same realization. They too have carried burdens. They too have wrestled with doubts. They too have wandered in deserts that left them thirsty for something real, something eternal, something ordained by God. And now God is pressing upon them with a holy urgency, saying, move, act, do not delay. Step into destiny. You see, my friend, when God ordains a connection, he does not only prepare one heart, he prepares both. He works on both ends. He shapes you and he shapes them. He purifies you and he purifies them. He removes your distractions and he removes theirs. And when the time is ripe, He brings the two together with a force that no human reasoning can explain. That force is about to move in your life. But here is the key. You must walk in faith, not fear. You must open your spirit, not close it. You must trust God's hand, not lean on your own understanding. Because when this drastic action comes, it may look unfamiliar. It may feel overwhelming. It may seem sudden, but sudden is not sudden to God. It is the culmination of years of preparation, the unfolding of a plan written long before you could see it. Consider how God works. He took Joseph from prison to palace in a single day. He split the sea for a nation in a single night. He brought rain to parched land in a single moment. God works suddenly, drastically, and powerfully when the appointed time comes. So too your soulmate's action will come suddenly, drastically, and powerfully. And you will know it is God, because it will not come wrapped in confusion, but in clarity. It will not come with hesitation, but with conviction. It will not come with chaos, but with peace. The peace of God will surround it, confirming in your spirit that this is His doing and not man. I must speak this truth boldly. Some of you have been tempted to settle. The waiting has made you weary. The silence has made you restless. You have thought to yourself, maybe I should just accept whoever comes. Maybe I should just force something to work. But hear me, do not settle. Do not compromise. Do not accept what is less than what God has promised. Because if you settle for less, you will miss the drastic destiny-filled action of the one God has ordained. Your soulmate is not ordinary, and neither is the union God has prepared. This union carries weight. It carries purpose. It carries destiny. It is not just about companionship. It is about assignment. It is not just about affection. It is about alignment. It is not just about love. It is about legacy. Together you will build. You will rise. You will conquer. You will glorify God in ways that neither of you could have done alone. My beloved friend, let me remind you of this unshakable truth. God is not a God of confusion. He is a God of clarity, of order, of divine alignment. When He sets two souls on a collision course toward destiny, He does not allow the connection to remain hidden forever. There comes a time when the veil is lifted, when the silence breaks, when the appointed season dawns, and the one whom God has chosen for you can no longer remain still. That time is now. That season is here. The one designed for you is awakening, and within them burns a fire that cannot be quenched. That fire will move them to take decisive action, not out of recklessness, but out of obedience to the voice of God. Consider how God has moved throughout history. When He parts the sea, it is never a mere stream. It is a towering wall of water breaking open to uncover dry land. When He sends rain upon a thirsty earth, it is not a light sprinkle. It is a downpour that soaks the fields in abundance. When He rescues His people, it is never small or hidden. It is powerful, unmistakable, undeniable. In the same way, the actions of your soulmate will unfold. They will not be concealed. They will not be hesitant. They will be courageous. They will bear the imprint of God's authority. Some of you have been asking, how will I know it is truly from God? How will I know this drastic action is the answer to my prayer, and not just another disappointment? You will know because it will bear the fruit of God's Spirit. It will not come clothed in confusion. It will not be birthed out of desperation. It will not lead you into chaos. It will come with peace, with clarity, with strength. It will align with the prayers you have whispered in the night, the visions you have carried in your heart, and the longings you could never quite explain to others. Your soulmate's drastic action will also demand courage from you. For when they arrive, they will challenge the walls you have built around your heart. They will ask you to trust again, to love again, to believe again. And that, my dear friend, is why God has allowed the long season of preparation. Every tear, every heartbreak, every season of solitude was not wasted. It was God strengthening you, stretching you, enlarging your capacity to receive a love that is pure, that is purposeful, that is divine. Without the refining, you might have rejected what is coming. But now, after all you have endured, you will recognize it for what it truly is. A gift from God. Do not underestimate how drastic this action may look to others. People may question it. They may shake their heads. They may say it is too sudden, too bold, too risky. But understand this. When God speaks to a heart, He speaks louder than the opinions of man. Your soulmate will no longer be controlled by what others think. They will not be hindered by the fear of judgment. They will not be held back by the chains of comfort. They will rise up propelled by the voice of God, and they will move towards you with a conviction that silences every critic. God often works in ways that shock human reasoning. He does not follow the patterns of the world. He does not wait for human approval. He does not bend to cultural expectations. When He decides to join two lives together, He will move mountains, root rivers, and bend time itself to make it happen. That is why you must keep your faith anchored in Him and not in what you see around you. What looks impossible to man is possible with God. What looks far away in the natural is close in the spiritual. What looks delayed in the eyes of people is right on time in the calendar of heaven. I want you to see this with your spirit's eye. Somewhere right now, your soulmate is restless. They cannot explain it fully. They cannot shake it off. They cannot silence the voice in their heart. God is stirring them. He is reminding them of the emptiness they feel when they are apart from you. He is impressing upon them that their destiny is tied to yours, that their peace is linked to obedience, that their future is incomplete without the step they are about to take. And so they are preparing to move fast, boldly, drastically, because they know deep within that to delay is to disobey God Himself. And you, my friend, must be ready to recognize the hand of God when it manifests. This is not a season to live distracted. This is not a time to dwell on what was lost. This is not a moment to bury yourself in fear. This is the time to lift your eyes, to raise your faith, to stand with expectation. When God moves, He looks for those who are awake, alert, and prepared. Be one of them. Do not sleep spiritually while your answer is knocking at the door. Think of the farmer who plants in faith. He does not see the harvest immediately. He waits through long nights, through seasons of rain, through moments of doubt. Yet at the appointed time, the field bursts forth with life, and all the waiting is redeemed in one powerful moment of reaping. That is how this drastic action will feel. It will redeem the waiting. It will make sense of the pain. It will turn your mourning into joy, your loneliness into companionship, your prayers into testimony. Your soulmate is not coming to you half-hearted. They are not approaching you casually. They are not playing with destiny. They are coming with full surrender to the will of God. That is why their action will seem drastic, because it will cost them something. It may cost them comfort. It may cost them the approval of others. It may cost them their old plans. But they will gladly pay the price because they know that obedience to God is more valuable than the applause of man. And you must also be willing to pay a price. You may have to let go of fear. You may have to release old disappointments. You may have to forgive those who hurt you so that your heart is free to embrace what is new. You may have to step into an unknown that feels terrifying at first. But know this: when God leads you, He does not lead you into destruction. He leads you into blessing. When He joins you to your soulmate, He does not do it to harm you. He does it to fulfill you. My beloved, hear me with the ears of your heart. When gossip arises against you, it is not always an attack on your weakness, but often a testimony of your strength in God. Those who whisper behind your back cannot reach the heights where God is taking you. Their voices are bound to the dust, but your destiny is bound to the heavens. Do not allow their small talk to derail your great purpose. For the one who holds your breath, who measures the seas in his hand, and who commands the sun to rise, is the same one who will silence the noise of false tongues. Understand this truth. People gossip because they cannot comprehend the favor of God resting upon you. They speak what their hearts cannot carry because God has placed upon you a light too heavy for their eyes. The whispers in dark corners are nothing compared to the proclamation of God's will over your life. If the Almighty says you are chosen, who can unchoose you? If He says you are lifted, who can drag you down? Their words are like smoke, visible for a moment and gone. But the word of God over your life is like a mountain, unshakable, immovable, eternal. When gossip surrounds you, remember God is the revealer of truth. He brings to light what is hidden in shadows. He exposes hearts and intentions that pretend to be pure but are poisoned with envy. Sometimes God allows the gossip to spread so that you may see who is for you and who is against you. Do not be distressed. This is divine separation. This is purification of your circle. For God does not want rotten fruit to contaminate your harvest. He removes what is false so that what is true may remain. Lift your head high when they speak falsely of you. You do not need to defend yourself, for your defender is God. Let Him fight your battles. Let Him answer your critics. Let Him scatter those who rise against you. The same God who divided the seas can divide you from the reach of your enemies. The same God who brought down the arrogant Pharaoh can humble the proud hearts that slander your name. And the same God who lifts the oppressed can lift you above the noise of every lie. So I say to you, walk boldly, walk faithfully, and walk silently when needed. Do not waste your strength wrestling with gossipers, for their words are weightless. Instead, anchor your soul in God, the source of all strength. Let your heart rest in His promise, and let your spirit rise on the wings of His protection. Gossip may follow you, but God goes before you. Gossip may try to stain your name, but God has already written it in his book of remembrance. And what God remembers, no tongue can erase. Let me tell you this, with all the fire of truth burning in my spirit. When you anchor your life in God, when you refuse to bend to the winds of gossip, slander, or deceit, you rise to a level where no voice of man can touch you. People may conspire, they may whisper, they may spread lies in hidden corners. But the moment God decides to lift you, no force on earth and no scheme of darkness can pull you down. The blessing of God is not dependent on human approval, and the honor that God places upon you cannot be canceled by the tongues of those who envy you. Every trial you face, every wound inflicted by the betrayal of others is shaping you into someone unshakable, someone refined in the furnace of God's wisdom. Stop worrying about who dislikes you. Stop wasting your nights thinking about those who plot against you. Instead, ask yourself this: what is God teaching me in this season? Because often God allows you to see the darkness in others, not to make you bitter, but to make you wiser, stronger, and more discerning. Remember this: when people try to bury your name, God plants it deeper into the soil so it can grow into a tree that bears fruit. When they try to isolate you, God is creating space for your elevation. When they try to shame you, God covers you with dignity and honor that no man can strip away. Do not let their gossip stain your heart. Do not let their rejection poison your soul. Rise above, because you were never meant to be held down by human opinion. You were created to walk in the freedom of God's purpose. And let me declare this truth into your spirit: those who speak against you are not greater than the one who defends you. God hears every insult, every false word, every hidden scheme, and God is not silent. At the appointed time, the very tongues that spoke against you will be silenced. And the same people who tried to dim your light will have no choice but to witness it shine brighter than ever. That is the justice of God. That is the protection of God. That is the victory that comes from placing your trust fully in Him. So do not let gossip break you. Let it remind you that you are chosen. Do not let slander shake you. Let it remind you that God's plan for you is bigger than their opinion. Do not let betrayal destroy you. Let it remind you that your trust was never meant to rest in people, but in God alone. For if God is for you, no one, absolutely no one, can stand against you. My beloved, when people rise against you with gossip, with falsehoods, with whispered words meant to break your spirit, remember this truth: their words cannot define you, because God has already written your worth in the eternal scroll of His decree. The slander of people fades like smoke in the wind, but the word of God stands forever. Do not waste your tears on those who speak behind your back, for if their courage was strong enough, they would stand before you. Instead, their whispers reveal the weakness of their hearts and the strength of your calling. When you hear that others conspire in secret, let your heart not be troubled. It is not you they resist. It is the hand of God upon you that unsettles them. Their gossip is nothing but proof that you are walking a path that threatens their comfort and exposes their hidden darkness. Many times the opposition you face is not about your faults, but about the light of God within you that blinds those who refuse to see truth. God himself says that he defends the believer, that he is the guardian of the righteous. So why should you fear the noise of people when the voice of God is on your side? Instead of responding to their words with anger, rise above with silence rooted in faith. Silence is not weakness when it is for God. It is strength wrapped in dignity. Your silence will echo louder than their gossip because God will be your defender. Every word they speak against you unjustly is recorded, and every tear you shed is seen. Do not think that God is unaware. He is the all-knowing, the all-seeing, and he will repay every injustice in its time. My dear one, let this sink deep into your soul. Gossip is the tool of the insecure. When people cannot attack your actions, they attack your reputation. But remember, your reputation is in the hands of people. Your character is in the sight of God. And it is your character that God rewards. Let them talk. Let them scheme. Let them mock. For in the end, their words will collapse like dust. But God will raise you like a tower upon a firm foundation. Do not chase after their approval, for you were never created to please people. You were created to please God. The moment you stop trying to silence every tongue and instead trust the silence of God's wisdom, you will find peace that no gossip can destroy. Let them spread their lies, for God spreads his truth. Let them speak against you, for God speaks for you. And when God speaks, no voice on earth can drown him out. Beloved, do not forget that even betrayal, slander, and gossip can be used by God to elevate you. Sometimes he allows people to speak against you so he can expose who truly belongs in your circle. Sometimes he allows false words to circulate so that you are pushed closer to him, finding your strength not in people but in his presence. Gossip may break your heart for a season, but it strengthens your soul for eternity. So walk forward boldly, knowing this: every time they whisper, God hears. Every time they mock, God records. And every time they plot, God responds. The one who guards you neither sleeps nor forgets. Their gossip may travel, but it will not prevail, for God himself is your shield and your honor. My beloved, there is a moment in every soul's journey when the whispers of doubt try to drown out the truth of God's presence. There will be days when fear rises like a giant standing before you, mocking your faith. But hear this: fear is nothing more than an illusion that thrives when the heart forgets the nearness of God. When you anchor yourself in the truth that the Almighty is closer to you than your very breath, fear begins to melt away like shadows fleeing from the morning sun. God has not called you to walk in weakness, but in strength. He has not placed his hand upon your life so you would live trembling before trials, but so you would rise above them, declaring, God is with me, and that is enough. When you believe this truth, no weapon formed against you can prosper. No scheme, no slander, no betrayal can overthrow what God has already ordained. And understand this: your enemies may gather, but they cannot prevail if God does not permit it. They may plot in secret, but their whispers cannot touch you unless God allows it for your elevation. Sometimes he allows storms not to break you, but to reveal how unshakable you are when you trust him. Sometimes he allows pain not to destroy you, but to strip away what was never meant to stay in your life. Do not fear when people walk away from you, for if they could leave, it is because God released them. Do not tremble when doors close, for a closed door is often God's way of directing you towards something greater. And do not panic when you feel surrounded, because the very walls that seem to cage you in are often the same walls God will use to protect you from unseen harm. When your strength feels small, remember that God's strength never diminishes. When your vision seems blurred, remember that God sees the end from the beginning. When your path looks uncertain, know that God already knows the way. Your task is not to figure out every detail. It is to trust Him with every detail. Lift your head, beloved, and let the world know that your hope is not in men, not in wealth, not in fleeting moments of comfort, but in the eternal God who governs all things. He has written your story with wisdom beyond comprehension. And even when you cannot trace His hand, you can trust His plan. So walk boldly, speak with faith, stand firm in the knowledge that God is your defender, your sustainer, your provider, your guide. Let nothing shake you, for you are held by the one who cannot be shaken. And when you walk in that confidence, fear will bow, doubt will crumble, and the light of God's power will shine through you for all to see. Beloved, as we draw this message to a close, let this truth take root deep in your heart. When people rise against you, when they whisper in secret corners, when they attempt to break your spirit with their gossip, it is not you they are truly fighting. It is the favor of God upon your life. Do not be shaken. Do not bend. Do not lose your peace. For what is spoken behind your back cannot cancel what God has written over your life. God does not need the approval of people to elevate you. He does not need their applause to establish you. His decree is final. His word is supreme, and His plan cannot be undone by the tongues of the bitter or the schemes of the jealous. While some conspire in the shadows, God is setting a feast for you in the light. As they waste their voices speaking against you, God is filling your soul with fresh strength. So lift your head not in arrogance, but in confidence that the Almighty stands as your defender. Let their words fall to the ground while your eyes stay fixed on the light of God ahead. For every lie spoken about you, He will return a blessing. For every trap laid to push you down, He will lift you higher. The whispers of people may linger for a moment, but the command of God resounds for all eternity. Do not tremble at the voices of men clinging to the word of God. When you do, you will rise, you will conquer, and you will stand as undeniable proof that no tongue, no scheme, no adversary can triumph over the one who dwells beneath God's mighty covering. So step forward with courage, with steady peace, and with the certainty that God Himself is your shield. What He has begun in you cannot be stopped. Place your trust in Him, and you will witness His glory in ways that silence every voice raised against you.